Hey everyone, and welcome to today's deep dive.
We're going to be going through Napoleon Hill's Keys to Success,
Mhm.
the 17 Principles of Personal Achievement.
Yeah, this is going to be a fascinating one, I think.
Definitely.
Um,
So much good stuff in here.
it is a really, really interesting book.
So what are we hoping to uncover for our listeners in this deep dive?
Well, I think the main thing is giving people some practical tools to achieve their goals.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they hear success and they think it's some kind of magical formula,
Yeah.
But Hill really breaks it down into these concrete principles and habits that anyone can apply.
Absolutely. And what's so interesting about Napoleon Hill is that he approached success like a scientist.
It's true.
He dedicated years of his life to interviewing hundreds of successful people.
Trying to understand what made them tick. What were the
Yeah.
common denominators?
And it's not like he was starting from a place of privilege or anything either, right?
Exactly.
The guy was born into poverty in the mountains of Virginia.
Humble beginnings.
Talk about an underdog story.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, how did he even get started on this path to becoming like the guru of success?
Well, that's where Andrew Carnegie comes in.
Ah, Carnegie.
Yeah, Carnegie, a self-made giant in the steel industry,
Right, a legend.
became a huge inspiration for Hill.
I bet. What was it about Carnegie that really stood out to him?
I think he saw in Carnegie a model for success that wasn't about privilege, but about mindset and strategy.
So it wasn't just about being in the right place at the right time or, being born into wealth.
Not at all.
It was about having the right outlook and the right approach.
Precisely. And being willing to work hard.
And speaking of hard work, get this. Carnegie actually gave Hill an assignment.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about that.
This wasn't just like, go interview a few successful people. Carnegie told him to interview hundreds.
He did. Can you imagine the scope of that project?
It's incredible. That's dedication.
Yeah.
So basically, Hill got to pick the brains of all these amazing people.
He really did, and that's how his 17 principles were born.
Ah, so he was looking for those common threads.
Exactly, the habits and mindsets that transcended any specific industry or talent.
So it wasn't about being a steel magnate or an inventor.
Right, it was about those universal keys to achievement.
I love the universal keys to achievement. Okay, so let's jump into those principles, starting with the one Hill calls the foundation of it all, definiteness of purpose.
Yes, this one is so important.
So this isn't just about setting any old goal, right?
No, it's much deeper than that.
It's about having that burning desire, that crystal clear vision of what you want to achieve.
That's it. And Hill believed that this definiteness of purpose was like a magnet.
Oh, a magnet.
Yes, attracting the resources and opportunities you need to succeed.
Interesting. So it's like the more clear you are about what you want, the more likely you are to actually get it.
Precisely. It's like the universe conspires to help you when you know what you want.
And he even quoted Ralph Waldo Emerson in his book on this.
He did. That's a great quote.
He goes, one single idea may have greater weight than the labor of all the men, animals, and engines for a century.
Wow.
Put ideas and your definiteness of purpose to work.
Powerful stuff.
Right. And speaking of putting ideas to work, Hill shares this great story about a guy named Edward Bach.
Oh, I love that story.
So Bach was an immigrant, struggling to make it as a writer.
Yeah, I remember that.
And one night he's at the theater, and he's totally bored.
It's just not feeling it.
Not by the play itself, but by the program.
The program.
Yeah, he's looking at this program, and it's just like super clunky and boring.
Oh,
And right then and there, he has his idea.
I can do this better.
Exactly. He envisioned a smaller, more engaging program and ended up being wildly successful because of it.
That's such a classic example of definiteness of purpose in action.
It really is. He saw a problem, envisioned a solution, and went for it.
Didn't require some grand scheme or anything.
Nope.
Just a clear idea executed with focus and determination.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Hill talks about how once you have that definiteness of purpose, it will act as a magnet to attract to you the specialized knowledge necessary for success.
Absolutely. The right people, the right information, it all seems to come your way when you're aligned with your purpose. It's not just about attracting the right knowledge, though.
Right.
It's about having the confidence to make quick decisions.
Yeah, that's huge.
Even under pressure.
Totally. When you're second-guessing yourself, it's so easy to get stuck.
Exactly. That's where a positive mental attitude, or PMA, as Hill called it, comes into play.
PMA. I love that.
When you're clear about your goals and believe in them wholeheartedly, that confidence naturally flows into your decision-making.
Okay, so you got your purpose. You're thinking positively, but what about when you hit those inevitable roadblocks?
Ah, yes, everyone faces challenges.
Exactly. That's where I think Hill's principle of the mastermind alliance comes in.
Absolutely. The Mastermind Alliance is all about recognizing that you don't have to go it alone.
We're not meant to do it all ourselves.
Right. It's about surrounding yourself with a group of like-minded individuals who can offer support, expertise, and a fresh perspective.
Yeah, like a brain trust.
Exactly. Where
Yeah.
each member brings their unique strengths to the table.
Hill actually tells this funny story about Andrew Carnegie hiring this brilliant chemist.
Oh, I think I know this one.
So this guy was a genius,
Oh.
right?
A true talent.
But he could not get along with anyone.
Oh, no.
He was disruptive, argumentative, just a real pain to work with.
You need more than just talent to thrive in a collaborative environment.
And Carnegie really valued collaboration.
He understood that teamwork is essential for achieving big goals.
So even though this chemist was brilliant, Carnegie eventually had to let him go.
It just goes to show that even brilliance isn't enough if it lacks harmony.
It's like that saying, teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly. A true mastermind alliance isn't just about intelligence, it's about collaboration, trust, and shared commitment to a common goal.
So how do you go about building a mastermind alliance that really works? What are the key ingredients?
Well, Hill emphasizes choosing the right people, individuals who not only possess the skills and knowledge you need, but also share your values and can work together harmoniously.
Right, so it's not just about finding people who are good at what they do.
It's about finding people who you connect with on a deeper level.
People you can trust and rely on and who have your back.
And vice versa.
Exactly. It's a two-way street.
Imagine a group of salespeople attending a conference. Individually, they have their own targets and strategies, right?
Right.
But by spending a few days together brainstorming, learning from each other's experiences, and aligning their goals, they leave energized and ready to achieve more as a team.
That's the power of synergy.
Exactly. That's the essence of a mastermind alliance in action.
And it's not just about business either, right?
No, not at all.
Hill talks about how you can apply this principle to your personal life, even within your own family.
Absolutely. Creating a supportive environment where everyone feels heard, understood, and valued is crucial, whether it's in your professional or personal life.
That's so important.
And those core principles of a mastermind alliance, confidence, understanding, fairness, and courage, are incredibly beneficial within a family setting as well.
Okay, so let's move on to a principle that really resonates with me. Going the extra mile.
I like this one too.
This is something I think everyone can relate to, regardless of what they do.
It's about having that work ethic, that dedication to excellence.
It's about consistently exceeding expectations and putting in that extra effort, even when no one is watching.
Hill compares going the extra mile to the way a farmer plants wheat.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Each seed planted yields a bountiful harvest.
So it's about putting in the effort consistently, knowing that the rewards will multiply over time.
That's it. You reap what you sow.
It's like that saying, the more you give, the more you receive.
I love that saying.
And Hill actually tells this incredible story about a man named Edward C. Barnes,
Oh, yeah, Barnes and Edison.
who desperately wanted to work with Thomas Edison.
Talk about setting your sights high.
Right, so Barnes shows up at Edison's office looking a mess.
Like a total wreck.
Yeah, he looked like he'd been sleeping in the street.
And when he announces his intention to become Edison's partner, the clerks laughed at him.
Oh, no, they didn't.
They did. That's brutal.
Can you imagine?
I would have been mortified.
But Barnes was persistent. He didn't let their laughter deter him.
That's the spirit.
He believed in Edison and was willing to do whatever it took to work with him.
Even if it meant starting at the bottom.
Exactly. And that's exactly what he did. He swept floors, cleaned equipment, anything just to be near Edison and learn from him.
Wow. Talk about dedication.
Then one day, Barnes overhears Edison's sales team bad-mouthing the new dictaphone.
They didn't have faith in it.
They were convinced it would never sell.
And that's when Barnes saw his opportunity.
He stepped up and declared, "I can sell it."
What? Just like that?
Talk about guts. And you know what? He did it.
No way.
He went out and pounded the pavement for a month, living on his measly handyman salary, and came back having sold 7 machines.
7. That's amazing.
Edison was blown away by his dedication and initiative and made him his partner.
See, going the extra mile pays off.
It really does. It's a perfect example of how going the extra mile consistently and with unwavering belief can lead to unexpected opportunities and incredible outcomes.
It reminds me of another story Hill shared, the one about the young clerk who offered Andrew Carnegie's mother a chair in a crowded store.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That simple act of kindness made a lasting impression, and years later, Carnegie sought him out and offered him a partnership.
It's amazing how these small gestures can have such a big impact.
It highlights how those small gestures, those instances where we go above and beyond, can have a ripple effect, creating opportunities we could never have imagined.
It's a great reminder that sometimes the biggest rewards come from the smallest acts of service and generosity. Okay, so we've talked about the importance of clarity, collaboration, and the hard work, but Hill also recognized that how you present yourself to the world matters. And that's where his principle of building an attractive personality comes in.
You know, when people hear attractive personality, they often think it's about being charismatic or good-looking.
Right, like some kind of natural charm.
But Hill breaks it down into something much deeper. He actually provides a diagram outlining 25 specific traits that make up an attractive personality.
25, he wasn't messing around.
Not at all. And some of them might seem obvious, like having a positive mental attitude, being sincere, and possessing a genuine desire to help others. But he also throws in things like having a firm handshake, being a good listener, and maintaining a sense of humor, even in difficult situations.
It seems like he was saying, look how you show up in the world. The energy you bring to your interactions, it all matters.
Exactly. It's about aligning your inner self, your values, and your intentions with your outer actions and how you interact with the world around you.
So it's not about being fake or putting on an act.
No, not at all.
It's about cultivating genuine qualities that make you a more effective communicator and a more magnetic presence.
Right. Remember that story about the clerk offering Carnegie's mother a chair? That small act of courtesy wasn't calculated. It was a genuine gesture of kindness, and that authenticity is what made it so impactful. Hill would say that clerk was radiating some serious attractive personality points.
I love that. It reminds me of the saying, people may not remember what you said, but they'll always remember how you made them feel.
Precisely. And when you approach your interactions with that kind of genuine care and consideration, it creates a positive ripple effect that extends far beyond that single moment.
Okay, so let's delve into a few of those 25 traits Hill highlights,
Yeah.
because some of them are pretty powerful. For instance, he talks about the importance of flexibility. He compares it to a chameleon adapting to its environment.
That's a great analogy. It's not about compromising your values or giving up what you want, but about being adaptable, being able to adjust your approach based on the situation and finding common ground with others. It's about maintaining your principles while still being open to different perspectives and ways of doing things.
It makes me think about negotiations. Being flexible doesn't mean caving to the other person's demands. It often means being willing to consider alternative solutions and find creative ways to reach an agreement that benefits everyone involved.
Exactly. And another pair of traits Hill emphasizes are tact and courtesy. These might seem old-fashioned, but they're so important in creating positive and productive relationships. It's about being mindful of other people's feelings, being respectful of their time and boundaries, and cultivating an atmosphere of mutual respect in all your interactions.
It's about those small acts of kindness, like remembering someone's name, offering help when you see someone struggling, or simply listening attentively when someone is speaking to you. These gestures might seem insignificant in the moment, but they go a long way in building trust and goodwill.
Absolutely. And in today's world, with so many different perspectives and opinions swirling around, Hill's emphasis on tolerance feels incredibly relevant. He recognized that being open to different viewpoints, even those you might not agree with, is essential for growth, both personally and professionally.
It's about understanding that there's always more to learn, that we can benefit from hearing diverse perspectives, and that clinging too tightly to our own beliefs can limit our growth.
Right. And finally, I want to touch on tone of voice, which might seem like a small detail, but it can have a huge impact on how your message is received. Think about it. You can say the same phrase in a variety of ways, and each variation will convey a different message.
It's true. For instance, imagine someone saying, "We need to finish this project by Friday." If they say it calmly and confidently, it inspires a sense of urgency without being overwhelming. But if they say it in a panicked or stressed out tone, it creates unnecessary anxiety and might even hinder productivity.
Exactly. And Hill recognized that a confident, assertive tone coupled with genuine warmth and respect is crucial for effective communication and for building strong, positive relationships.
It's incredible how these seemingly small details like tone of voice can make such a big difference in how we connect with others and achieve our goals.
It's so true. And speaking of making a difference, this brings us to a principle that can feel a bit less tangible than some of the others we've discussed: faith in infinite intelligence. I know this one can sometimes throw people off, but stick with us.
I'll admit this one took me a minute to grasp as well.
Yeah.
It sounds very spiritual at first glance, but the way Hill explains it, it's less about organized religion and more about tapping into something bigger than yourself.
Exactly. He describes it as an intelligence that flows through everything, connecting us all. And he believed that by aligning ourselves with this infinite intelligence, we tap into a wellspring of creativity, inspiration, and potential.
So even if someone isn't religious, they can still embrace this idea of a universal energy or force that they can connect with.
Absolutely. Think of it as a universal support system, a source of guidance and strength that's always available to us, regardless of our individual beliefs. Hill saw it as the key to unlocking our subconscious potential, which he believed was the source of true genius.
That makes sense. So how do we actually tap into this infinite intelligence? Does Hill offer any practical steps?
He doesn't give a rigid set of instructions, and I think that's intentional.
Yeah.
He wanted individuals to find their own path to connecting with this concept. However, he emphasizes the importance of cultivating faith, not just in a higher power, but also in yourself and your ability to achieve your goals.
So it's about having that deep-seated belief in yourself and in something greater than yourself, that inner knowing that you are capable and supported on your journey.
Yes, precisely. And I think this principle beautifully ties everything together. You have that burning desire, that definiteness of purpose. You build your support network, your mastermind alliance. You're out there taking action, going the extra mile,
Yeah.
and working to cultivate those positive character traits we talked about.
And then underpinning it all is this unshakable belief, this faith in infinite intelligence, that it's all going to work out, that you are guided and supported even when things get tough.
Exactly. It's about trusting the process, knowing that you're not alone in this journey, and believing that when you combine focused effort with that unwavering faith, you become unstoppable.
Wow, that's powerful. It turns Hill's Keys to Success into more than just a self-improvement book. It's a guide for living a more fulfilling and impactful life.
I completely agree. He provides a set of tools for unlocking our potential while also reminding us that we are all connected and capable of achieving extraordinary things when we tap into that inner power and believe in ourselves.
That's a fantastic note to end on. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Napoleon Hill's Keys to Success, take a moment to reflect which principle resonated with you most strongly, and how can you start incorporating it into your life starting today. Keep those questions in mind, and we'll see you on our next deep dive.